to the shit.
Yo, what's going on, my peoples?
Yo, what's good, man?
What's good? F, can you hear us?
Oh, now I can't hear again.
It is beautifully live. Don't worry, F, everybody can hear you, though. So it's all good.
I can't hear anything. I don't know if you can hear me.
That's all right. We'll kick you out.
Shall I leave? And then I'm going to come back?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Technical difficulties,
guys. Normal behavior. Yo, so as you guys saw, you got obviously myself, Cases in the house. You got introduce yourself, bro.
Me, Dan Mason.
Yes. And now you froze. Oh, you froze a little bit. But it's fine. What's going on, everybody? What's going on, everybody in the chats? We're gonna just change a couple things. Can you hear us, F? I don't think you can still hear us, guys.
Yeah, now I'm starting to hear you. It's crackly, but it's coming through.
It'll do the same as before then. So, yeah, guys. So, who have we got setting the levels today? If she can hear us. Can you hear us?
I can just about. It's just warming up. It's like it's warming up.
It's just warming up. It's all just spooling up. Anyway, guys, we have the talented, beautiful Effie in the house. What's going on, young lady?
Well, at the moment, you know what it is? Originally, I was going to be at home tonight, but because of the tier 3 announcement today, everyone was like, no,
antics.
We're going for food tonight. We're going out tonight. And I was like, oh my God, it might be the last time I get to see people before Christmas. Yep. So I'm sat in my car.
You're sat in your car. Where you going after? Where you going?
Where am I? Hoxton.
Yeah. Oh, why not? The ends, innit? Where everybody goes out.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's get to it. So I've actually been following you on the Lev3ls platform for about a year. Actually, just over a year, because I remember it was like October last year when I invited you to one of our club nights.
Was it that long ago?
Yeah. Because I was looking back through and I was just checking the emails when I was about to send you something, and I saw Jesus. It was literally just over a year, October 2019. Yeah.
Wow.
It was when I first came across you, and I forgot what single it was.
It might have been Worship or Fairy Tale.
Fairy Tale was the single that caught my attention. I was like, rotted, okay. And 9 times out of 10, you know, on Instagram when you just holler at people and you're just like, it's gonna catch air, but whatever. Let's just shoot the shot. And then I was like, wow, she replied. So ever since then, sorry, my camera's going mad. Ever since then, I've been bugging you effectively.
Yeah, you haven't been bugging me. You've been helping me.
Oh, well, thank you.
You've been elevating me. I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful for your support. So thank you.
Well, it's the whole MO of Lev3ls, isn't it?
Absolutely.
But anyway, talk to us. Tell us who you are, where you've come from. You like what got you into what you're doing now, basically.
Wow. Okay, so I come from a background of music. My father is a kind of a famous musician. He was in a big band in the 60s. He's a drummer and a singer.
Bait him up. What band?
So the band, you might not have heard of it, but I think like people who are like 50 plus definitely would. 60s. But it's called Dave D, Dozy, Beaky, Mick and Titch. And my dad's always been a big driving force. He's never been a pushy parent though, but he's always been like a big driving force in my career in terms of what I decided to do. And I can't really remember a time when I didn't do music, you know. It was so intrinsic. It was so just embedded in me right from the very beginning. And so my auntie was also she was also a soul singer, God rest her soul, because she's passed away now, but she was also a big influence. And then my great grandmother, who I also never met, she was a gospel singer in the States, because my mum is originally from America. So I have a lot of family in LA. Big up all the fam over there.
But the American sauce.
Yeah. And so yeah, it's kind of in my blood, I guess. I've never really done anything else, and I don't really intend to do anything else.
Wicked, because I mean, most music artists in London, anyway, from my experience, they just happen to do it because they have no alternative sometimes, or they're just like, I just love it, and it's sometimes a release. And it's good to hear people who's like, nah, I don't care, music is all I'm doing. But I kind of like have seen some of the circle that you roll with, and they surround them, like they live and breathe music. I thought I did as a DJ at times. I thought I lived and breathed, but you guys are on a whole nother level.
Yeah, man.
Like whole nother level.
Yeah, that's what we do. Like
that environment.
Yeah, and I think when you surround yourself with the correct people, when you surround yourself with like-minded people, all you can do is elevate each other. And that's why I think the most successful people, not even just in the music industry, but in life, if you're around like-minded people and you're all building each other up, then there can only be one outcome. And the other great thing about it is if one person pushes through to the next level, it kind of by default makes everybody else level up, and we just help each other for sure.
For sure. And how long you been at it for music then? How would like pushing to the levels literally since you were little, or
I mean, at first, so I've always sang. I wrote my first song when I was probably about 11 years old. I was still in primary school. I was in year 6. I remember it very well. And so then I joined a pop soul choir in Salisbury called E minor. So shout out to any
Salisbury
gang. Yeah, Salisbury's where I'm originally
that where you grew up?
Yeah.
Rotted bits.
Yeah. And so yeah, kinda. And so yeah, that was my first experience of like the stage on a bigger level, because we would work towards 3 shows a year, like an Easter, a summer, and a Christmas show. And so that's where I got like a lot of my live experience early. And then when I was 15, I got picked up by Lamar. Do you guys remember Lamar?
Oh yeah, man. To one of his tunes the other day.
If there's any just no, I can't sing.
Exactly. Yeah, you got
when
it.
Now it's 50-50.
There you go. There you go.
Back in the day, he was smooth, bro. Come on.
He was the smoothest cat. Like
100%.
That's the guy. So yeah, so he kind of discovered me when I was 15. I went and did like a talent competition, and the prize was to open up for him on stage like the following week. Wicked. And so I won, and that then meant that I went and opened up for him, and he heard me sing. And so then he wanted to meet me, and so we did. And then he kind of became my mentor up until I was about 21. And I went on tour with him. I was so blessed. By the age of 17, I was literally doing a UK tour with him and JLS. I played the Royal Albert Hall, which was like sold out. Like it was amazing.
Do you want to know something? Yeah. Now it all makes so much sense, because in July when we had our Levels Lounge, and I don't know if you remember what I told you before. We had that little intermission. I don't know. Remember if you remember what I told you.
I don't
beforehand.
Know. Go on.
No, I said, and please, all the other singers, do not hate me for this. As I said before, any of those guys, anyway, I tuned into you, and I said you were my personal favorite on that night, and I was really looking forward because, and also you had Cam with you.
Yeah, that's my best friend.
With you.
Wow.
And
I'm thinking, why don't we get this guy as well, man? Like he needs his own section as well.
Listen,
he needs his own section.
Listen. The plug is right here, innit? Effie, hook it up, please. Thank you. Thank you.
No, put that work in, man. Like we need that. Guys, crazy talented, man.
But when you guys sang, literally, I went, this is why I knew that this girl was my favorite on the night. Yeah. That wasn't even a question. Like, if you saw the crowd's reaction, it was just like, nah. Who is this? Like, is this even fair right now? But because now it makes sense, because you've got that kind of level of experience. Yeah. And you kind of know how to hold yourself and carry yourself.
It almost felt like
thank you.
She was coming down to just deal with that level. I almost felt like, because I was filming it, and I was listening, and no disrespect to the guys that were obviously performing, I was listening, but then they started, and I was like, hold on, now I'm listening. It was crazy. Like, it was good. It was a really good performance. It was really good.
But it makes perfect sense. As I said, right now looking back, it makes perfect sense, and learning a little bit more about your journey to where we are now makes perfect sense.
Yeah, so, I think live is my favorite space. I'm happiest on stage. I love performing with a live band. That's me. Like, yeah, I love the studio. Studio's cool. And it's part of the process. But for me, just put me on that stage. That's where I want to be.
That's you.
Yeah.
That's wicked. Again, well, we'll get onto it in a minute as to the kind of people that you roll with
hmm
as well. So, what after 21, the age of
hmm
21, you said that's when Lamar was mentoring you.
Yep.
Then what happened?
So at that time, the management company that he was kind of rolling with, they kind of disbanded. And I decided to leave. I just kind of wanted a new direction. And at that time, because I was so young, I was kind of being put in situations and put in boxes that I didn't really want to be put in. And I was still trying to find out who I was, because at 21, you're still figuring everything out. And being 21 back then is very different to being 21 now. Very, very different.
What year are we talking about? Try to bait up your age.
I'm not gonna tell you. For those that know me, they'll know, innit? But but so I decided to leave. So I took a little break as well. And then one of the managers that was with that company, she started up her own company, and me and her were very close. So we decided to keep working together. And then after a little while, I then needed another change. And then I met my current manager, who I'm with now. And that's when I kind of always say my career so far has been in part 1 and part 2. And part 1 kind of ended as I left that manager and found my new manager. And then so for the last 3 years, I've just been grinding, trying to find my sound, networking, and just, trying to elevate every year.
Cool. And that's another thing that's always intrigued me, because I think the UK music industry is very difficult to navigate. And this is I'm nobody. I'm just a DJ looking in. And what I see is you get these bursts of your Lamars, who was just a unicorn at the time, because we've had the male vocalists that we've had in this country, off the top of my mind. Here goes my flipping camera. Off the top of my mind is Lyndon David Hall.
Okay.
Lamar. See, I'm gonna put Nathan in it, even though he went mad. I'm gonna put Nathan in it because he was a
he went
decent.
mad though.
Who, Nathan Starboy? Nathan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Who else? There was one more. Loic Essien had a peak period.
Yeah.
But anyways, like we don't have I don't think we have the best crop of male vocalists. And then when the female vocalists come along, again, off the top of my mind, I was listening to Gabrielle the other day, and I was thinking to myself, right, this woman was not bad. Then you had Beverly Knight.
Oh, Bev.
Had
massive fan.
Huge fan of that one. And then I forgot. There's a couple others, but I can't think of. But
Amy Winehouse, Adele.
Amy Winehouse, exactly. But
basically, the girls have been
pocketed all the
situation the whole time.
What did you say?
Girls have been dominating the whole space.
No, they have. But the thing is, what I'm getting at is I think when everybody tries to get a record deal, and I think when you go to record labels, especially in this country, they automatically think, okay, cool, this girl, this sound, we're going to put her here. Whereas I guess because listening to your stuff, you're so varied in what you do.
Yeah, totally.
Like what you did with AJ Moreno, Put 'Em High. Those are as a dope remix. I listen to that all the time.
Yeah.
And if people listen to your latest single compared to Put 'Em High, you're like, is this the same vocalist?
Yeah.
And it is the same vocalist. And then is that part of the reason why you're an independent artist? Because of that pocketing, or?
I mean, in a way, yeah. I have a love of dance music. I've always been a raver. I've always gone out. I love techno. I love house. I go to Ibiza every year. All that kind of stuff. And so, for me, dance has always just held a really special place now, and it's something that I'll never want to stop doing, really. But as I am growing more as an independent artist, I am going to be doing less of the dance stuff, just because you have to be very careful. You don't want to confuse people. You want to build up your fan base and for people to know what you're about. So I think it's something that I'm going to have to take a step back from, not forever. But yeah, it's definitely something that I enjoy, and especially with writing and top lining house and dance music, I find it quite easy, and I really enjoy it too. So
fine. And then what is the difference between them being a signed artist compared to an independent artist? Just explain for those who don't know.
I mean, being a signed artist has the perks of having the big machine behind you in order to market your stuff, put you in front of the right people, and engage that audience with the money that they have, because it does take money. But the problem, I think, sometimes with being a signed artist is you don't always gain full control. You have more people to talk to about what you're doing, what direction you're going in, all of that kind of stuff. And you don't always, depending on the deal you sign, historically, as we know, seeing Kanye West, Prince, etc., you don't always own your
Get your
masters,
masters.
or you
Yeah.
own a smaller percent of your masters. Now, if you're independent, you will generally own the majority of your masters, if not all, sometimes, depending on if you're someone like Cam, for instance. He produces himself, and production is something that I want to explore, which I'll be exploring next year to kind of like help me on my way. But you have, just more control, really. But the pitfalls of being independent is you don't have that marketing budget, and you don't have that PR that you might have with a label, and just those heads that are in the game to say, hey, check out this girl or this guy and this act, and this is who we have, and put you in those rooms. But it's about grafting. If you can graft, and you can have the good songs, if you have good songs, good work ethic, and you're a good person and you're talented, if you have all of those things, and I feel like you can't go wrong. It just takes time for it to be your time.
Right. Do you know any independent artists from the UK who have popped?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Stormzy was an independent artist. He signed I think it was like a distribution licensing deal in the end, which essentially does tie him into a major, but originally all that groundwork, all that footwork, he was essentially doing himself. That's probably the biggest example that comes straight to my mind. That's quite a difficult question to answer on the spot, actually.
That's the thing. The only reason I ask, because I'm trying to think of how many, because if you go stateside, although Stormzy is kind of, say, like how 50 Cent started. 50 Cent had all his mixtape, and he was just distributing to DJ after DJ after DJ. He had so much of an underground hype, same as Stormzy. Then it was just inevitable that somebody picked him up. People were still saying no to him until Eminem, obviously, and Dre picked him up. And then this history. That's the reason I asked you. Although technically that's not an independent story, there was so much of a hype built up to lead him to a signing. Right. That's why the question is there any artist on top of your head that had that? Stormzy is one, yes. Heady actually is another one. Now,
yeah, Heady one. Yeah, that's a good example.
But then aside from that, I don't know.
You know what? I'd have to like write a list. I'd have to like delve into it and look, because I really don't know off the top of my head. But there definitely are. Definitely are. But sometimes you might not even know it, because, to be honest, I'm not always looking for, are you an independent artist and are you a sign? I just listen to the music. I'm like, if I like you, if I fuck with what your sound is and who you are and what your vibe is, then I'm really not paying much attention to anything else. So you might be listening to an independent artist that's blown and you don't even know.
That's very true. That's very, very true. So then, and in the current position that you're in now, what kind of things help to then bolster your kind of status within this music industry within the UK or worldwide?
I think collaboration and hyping up your peers, for me, is the biggest thing you can do when you're an independent artist, because if you're collaborating, then you're essentially having a crossover to that person's fan. And that's why me, Cameron Bloomfield, Sammy Switch, my girl Lev3ls, like, we're all super tight and we all help each other, because we know the value. We love each other, and we genuinely, are fans of each other's work, but also we know how important it is to have those crossover fan bases, and just to big each other up, man.
No, indeed, because we see too many, especially from the UK side, too many one-hit wonders, or people who are here literally 6 months stay and bye bye.
Yeah,
where are you now? And
happens all the time.
And personally, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it, because I don't want to keep. Although I don't really like radio now, because everything sounds the same. Like, everything sounds the same for me. But at the same time, I don't want to be turning on radio, and this is not a shot at Americans, but I don't want to hear Americans all the time. I want to hear the Brits coming with actual fire, which is like, cool, this can stand the test of time.
Original fire, though. No,
but for me,
we need original fire, man, because we got a lot of people that try to sound like other people and don't try to be themselves.
Yeah.
So, like, obviously, you're very likable because you're just doing you. So that kind of just, emanates from you.
Yeah,
With
that's
other
good. That's
people,
good to know. Thank you.
you kind of just see through them, and you're just like, "Oh, bro, you listen to the music. I'm just, what's this? What is this?
Yeah. You have to
Like,
match everything.
when those emails come through with the music from, because I'm like, as DJs you get sent music, so I'm not gonna lie to you, half of them I'm just binage.
Wow.
I'm not even gonna put that on my serato. It's literally email, open, listen, trash, done. Seriously, because it's like you could feel it. It's just like, you sound like the last guy. Why don't you sound like you?
Totally.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So I think we need more originality coming through, instead of some people just trying to pretty much sound like the next guy and, you know, copy the next person. It's just like, no, none of that. Let's just keep it real.
Yeah, for sure.
100%, 100%. But fine then. Let's move until today. Well, not today, literally in the recent times for you. You just dropped a new single, which that I've been messaging you. That I have been bugging you for, because that was
you actually were.
That was the last song you performed at the Lev3ls
Yeah,
Lounge.
it was. Yeah.
Explain. What's the name of the new single, for those who don't know? So the
name of the new single is My Room, and I actually wrote that song. I wrote that record back in 2017, and I wrote it with a friend of mine at the time called Aaron Vakiria. And me and him, he just kind of like put the keys down, and I just sat and wrote it, and it just kind of like came out. It was a very easy session. I wrote it very quickly, and then it kind of just got left. And then I don't think Aaron was really like doing music too tough anymore. And so I was like, okay, I need to find a producer who I think could really give it the sauce that it needs. And then I hit up my friend Adam, who's known by his producer name as New Machine. And he was like, yeah, man. He was like, I'd love to produce this up for you. So that's when he jumped on the record, made it sound exactly how it sounds now. He killed it. And then I also reached out to a guy called Jed Holland, who put there's some live strings on the end of the record, and he came on and touched the record differently with that. It just gives it an extra bit of sauce at the end. So
no, I mean, both the live, if anybody hasn't heard it, the live is on our Instagram, or the live that she performed is on our Instagram, but it's across the board now. It's literally her single's out on every streaming platform now. When are the visuals out, actually?
So good that you asked me this. So the visuals we actually shot last Monday, and we shot them in my room, in my actual room, and they should be coming out next Monday.
Oh, wicked.
Yes, very very excited to drop that.
Because how long's it been since you dropped the visuals because you had Spiteful that came out earlier this year?
Yeah, and I didn't have any visuals for that because of COVID, so it was just
because it was first COVID, isn't it?
Yeah, I dropped Spiteful like literally in
March.
April. Yeah, March or April.
Yeah. Oh wow! But then explain, like, you wrote that 3 years ago. It took that long just to perfect the thing, or just took you that long
because
I think it's
because I had other singles. So because I knew I had Worship, because I knew I had Fairy Tale, and I had Spiteful at that. And in fact, I had Spiteful at the time, and I hadn't written Worship and Fairy Tale yet. But then when I did write them, I was like, oh, you know what? The order that it made sense for me was to drop the more electronic R&B and then kind of come into the more live sounding stuff, which is where I really want to be. But because I also love those tunes so much, I wanted people to see the progression. I don't want to confuse people, but also I want to show people that, you know, your sound can be varied within a pocket. It doesn't have to just be
100%.
And then I think when I drop my project, everything will be extremely cohesive. Still in the lane of My Room, but it will be slightly different. But yeah, just elevating every time.
It's interesting you say that, because I think I said that to you once as well. One of the things I loved about this particular single was that it wasn't overproduced. Whereas you can have songs which are just like super better. No, you kept it nice and light, and as I said, it just kept a great tone. And it's interesting you said that. I didn't even know that, but it's interesting you said that. When is your project coming out then? Because you've got a whole stream of singles.
I don't have a date, you know. I actually don't. I'm not even gonna front. I don't. It's gonna be next year. I just don't know when. It's
Okay.
just gonna have to be when it's ready. Like it's one of those things that I don't want to rush. At the same time, you don't want to fall off with the hype. Like if you're getting a bit of heat and stuff and traction, you don't want to leave it too long. But also, I'm not just gonna put out music for the sake of putting out music, just because of the hype. Because if the records translate and if they're good enough, people are gonna bang it anyway. So
Yeah.
eventually, it will transpire.
Like this single, isn't it?
Yeah, like this is the best reaction I've had to a single, you know, like from my peers and my friends, and everyone says it's their favorite. And every time it comes on or I sing it or perform it, like everyone sings the words, and that's an amazing feeling, man. Like,
No,
yeah,
it's wicked. It's definitely wicked. And I mean, are we gonna? Do you think it's gonna be one of those kind of like EPs where it's probably like 10 tracks, or are you gonna give us like a Chris Brown where you do 50 tracks on an album or something like that?
it's no. I don't want to release anything that's an album length at all. So the most it will be is a 7-track EP at maximum.
Why do artists actually do that? I've always wondered, like, what happened to the art of creating an album?
So
like
there's many
13 tracks deep
reasons.
or something like that. Yeah.
So there's many reasons. One of the reasons, I don't know if this is common knowledge, but one of the reasons why artists like to release EPs versus albums is because once you release an album, you can't be considered for best new artist at award ceremonies.
That's trash. I don't care.
Yeah, so you can't be considered for that if you have an album. But if you've dropped 3 EPs and then you were to get like signed to a major and then you dropped your album, and then that could be considered. So that's one of the reasons.
Fuck that. Hey, Mason, we're creating an award ceremony when none of that matters. None of that matters. I
Politics
don't
of the music
care.
industry, man. It's crazy.
true.
To be honest, like I wish it was something that I didn't care about, but I'd be a liar if I said I didn't, because I
Yeah.
didn't.
No, obviously. You want rewards, you want your roses for your work.
I mean, it gives you a ton of traction though. If let's say you was to win best new artist at the Mobos next year, it gives you such traction to kind of push your career even further. So I get the reasoning behind it. I mean,
and also I think it's a nice build up as well. Like I feel like EPs are kind of, it's almost like a series that then gets made into a movie. Like if you release like a really sick series and then they take the series or a book and they make it into a movie, and then the movie is like a huge blockbuster, it's almost kind of like that. Do you know what I mean?
I got you. So basically you're saying it's better to do like a Harry Potter kind of series rather than doing a Chris Brown and just doing a 4-hour flipping Lord of the Rings thing.
Right. Well, I mean, I do love Lord of the Rings. I'm a massive Lord of the Rings fan.
See? Breezy for the win.
You like The Hobbit as well? I like The Hobbit as well.
I love The Hobbit. I love Lord of the Rings. Yeah, I love it.
Boy. Anyways, boy. Question.
Kofi clearly doesn't. He's
not on board.
I fully love it. I fully love Lord of the Rings.
You don't love Frodo and Gandalf, no?
Come on, bro.
No, I do. I don't think The
Oh.
Hobbit was as good as the original trilogy.
No.
I don't think it was as good, but I do actually really like Lord of the Rings. It was just a Mazzoline 4 hours, and you have to have people take a break. Nah, come on.
No, I loved it, man. I was stuck to. I could sit there for 4 hours. It was
Well,
nice.
you're one of them
You should
movie
try
nerds,
watching
innit?
all 3 of them back to back in one day, you know?
No, they did that at the IMAX.
Way. No,
They
way.
actually did that at the
Early.
IMAX. Nah.
You know, like, that's what like Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. If you go to see it in the theater, you're there for like 7 hours.
Swear, I never saw it.
Yeah.
I never
So if you go to watch, I mean, I don't know, with COVID, it's looking a bit sticky. But if you go to watch Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, you're there for like 6-7 hours. You're going from 10 a.m. to like 7 p.m.
But isn't that
kinda
a
sick,
2-parter?
I'm not sure.
That's quite sick, you know.
But it's a long
Bloody hell.
one, either way.
It's a long one. It's a long
Yeah,
one.
you have to be one Harry Potter groupie, man. Sorry.
100.
I
Big
love Harry
fanboy.
Potter, but boy.
Big fanboy, bro. And Lord of the Rings. And Star Wars. Don't get at me, bro.
Yes, and Marvel.
Don't know.
All day.
I'm
Don't
in
know.
there.
You don't
Yeah, I'm in there.
Watch how in 10 years they repeat every single flipping
Oh,
Marvel
no.
Avengers series. Oh my
Nah,
lord.
they're building the universe, man. You're obviously not a fan.
Listen, they're building the universe. Bro, I said today to somebody, yeah, watch in 15 to 20 years with this COVID, a
Yeah.
film's gonna release showing that we all got duped. I promise you. I promise you. We're being tricked right now. What do you think of all this stuff? Sorry.
What do I think?
Yeah, of all this COVID situation currently.
Um,
Say it with chest.
I mean,
don't trip.
it's very complex. I think it's very much a real thing. I'm not a conspiracy theorist when it comes to COVID. I know people that it's affected badly. My mum is essentially a nurse. She works in care, so it's affected her. She's been very lucky. That, you know, fingers crossed, touch wood, she's been fine so far.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me that about your mum.
Yeah, so it's definitely very real. I wouldn't like to speak too politically.
Why?
Because not because I'm scared to speak politically, but just because I don't know enough. I don't think it's been handled brilliantly. The tears and the this and then the lockdown and the not lockdown. I think we should have gone into lockdown a lot sooner originally. We should have followed suit like some of the other countries have done. But to be honest, in this situation, because it is unprecedented, there is no way of knowing what the best way is to deal with it. Like, I can sit here and say, Matt Hancock, he's a bit of a dick, and Boris Johnson, yeah. But I can say all these things, but if I was in that position, do I know how I would handle it differently? Not necessarily. I don't know. But what I will say is, I think the music industry, the entertainment industry, I've been quite disheartened about how we've kind of just been left. I don't think there's been much support and help for us. I think they've been quite happy to. You would never hear the government say to the banking district, we expect you to retrain. But people think that the government thinks that for people in the entertainment industry, we can just go and retrain. And I think it's a wider problem, because people in the entertainment industry, a lot of the time, they don't get taken seriously. Like, people will be like, so what do you do all day? Or are you still doing your little music thing? And I'm like, bitch, that's my job.
Listen, I'll tell you,
you
the
know when people
maddest
just
story.
shit on what you're doing, it's like, oh yeah, you're still doing that DJ stuff, yeah, of course I'm still
like,
doing the DJ stuff. What do you think
this
this
is
is?
my career, bro.
Jesus Christ.
I will tell you the maddest story. Sorry to interrupt you, F. So big up Georgia as well, down in Cornwall. Maddest story, right? My cousin, she listens to music and she enjoys music and stuff like that. And if I say UK funky house, tell me one artist who comes to your mind.
Kyla.
Princess Naya.
Okay. Me personally, I say Deneo.
Oh, Deneo, yeah. Crazy Cousins.
Check this. My cousin knows Deneo, right? But she knows him by his government. Like, she doesn't listen to music in that sense and this, that, the other. So she comes to my yard one day and she was like, I was like, where did you come from? I come from some christening. And she said, what's it called? I had this friend of mine. His name is, I won't say his government. His name is X.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, cool. And she's like, everybody was coming to him and crowding around him and wanted to take pictures and stuff. And I went to him, why is everybody doing this? It's like, and he just casually said, it's because of the music and stuff. And she went, are you still doing this music nonsense? Bearing in mind, this is Doneo in the peak of funky house.
Oh my goodness.
And I went, you didn't say that, did you? So yeah, I did. I was like, no, you didn't say that. But in her mind, she thinks exactly the same. Like, you're still doing this music nonsense. Like, this guy is just any guy. Like, the Neo is bounce with it. Even that was before funky. I was garage. They were coming, Devil in a Blue Dress, African Warrior, and these big tunes there.
Big songs, bro.
And
big
still
songs.
now the guy's still chucking out music, yeah. And she said that. But again, like you just said, the music industry gets so. Well, not the arts and entertainment industry. I think gets zero love.
I think
it's the arts entertainment.
I think it's just people don't respect creativity. They don't like society doesn't like. They don't respect anyone that wants to be a creator or think. They just want you to put yourself in a box, stick with the box, pay your taxes, die.
Yeah.
Leave your. Listen, seriously. That's how it's set up. They tell you.
It is. You go to school. You take your exams, you go to university. University was never my MO. I could not get out of school quick enough. I did not care for school.
So you're done at end of secondary?
I didn't care. And I was done. I was in the studio half the time. I wasn't interested. And so I think, and then when I did try college. I thought, you know what, let me try college just to see. And I did music tech and a couple of other things. And then I dropped out to go on tour. So essentially I didn't finish. But I always knew that creating was not a hobby for me, but a lot of people think that creativity goes next to a hobby rather than a career choice. And it's like, but people don't think. You listen to music every day, you watch TV every day, you read every day, you may look at art, all these things. Well, if we weren't doing this on a daily basis and having careers that make us money, where do you think all this is coming from? But it's very taken for granted. It's not in the front of the human psyche in society.
Exactly.
I think it's because a lot of people are not creative, so I think they're coming at the situation with a little bit of bias and a little bit of hate as well.
For sure.
Yeah.
They're hating a little bit. Some of them probably weren't good at sports, so they look at people that are good at sports and get paid to play sports. They probably look at them in the same way. It's just like,
for sure.
These people what are they getting paid for? And I'm just like, bro, even if you're a sports person or a musician, do you know how many hours you put into that? Like,
the dedication,
a lot of hours,
body,
the dedication. So it's like same way people go to uni for 4 years and then another 4 years to do 3 or 4 masters or whatever they do.
Salute to you.
People are out there doing the same thing with their music every day. You're talking about studio time. You're in the studio all the time. Other artists are in the studio all the time. They're trying to. Their life is based around that. And I just think society just needs to have a little bit more respect, a little bit more respect when it comes to like what people are doing out there.
It's like I say to my friends, like my close friends will know, like my day to day, like when I say I'm working and stuff, I might be in a session, then I might be at home looking at my socials, then I might be doing strategy, then I've got to do emails, then I've got to do phone calls, then I might be arranging a live lounge session like what we're doing on Sunday. Then I might be planning a show. Like there's so many things and there's so many hats that you have to wear also with it, as being an independent artist. I am constantly working. I just don't have a 9 to 5, and lucky for me, I can do it from the comfort of my home or a coffee shop or the studio. So that is my workplace. But it's still work and it's still hours. And
100%. It's all taken for granted at the end of the day. Sometimes when people don't understand what you do and just think, oh, you're just gonna get up on the stage and because you're blessed with a beautiful voice, it's easy. Nah.
Yeah.
I think the problem we've got is like what we were talking about earlier. So many of these like 10-minute artists, like like these
trends.
Yeah.
My yay is different to your yay.
Yeah. The ones that are not really into it, like some of these artists that we know. They kind of put a bad message out to like the masses that these people are just
I think as well because of the age that we're living in with social media. You're going to swipe on your phone, you're going to stop for a maximum of 5 seconds. Like we're in this touch society where we're touching this, we're liking this, swipe up, all these things. And it's very different. We consume so much. We consume all the time. Music, content, things, our brains. We're not supposed to do that.
No.
And so it's very difficult for, I feel, people that are trying to work with integrity and for longevity. It's harder for us right now. And the people that are coming on a trend and a quick thing, like if I wanted to blow on TikTok, and if most artists like me wanted to blow on TikTok, we could do that. But it's about what you want to be attached to. Same with going on talent shows, The Voice, The X Factor, these things, they're manufactured things that can put you on a platform, yes, but then do you want to be associated with that? Do you want people to say, oh yeah, that's Effie from The Voice, or oh yeah, that's Effie from The X Factor? And if you don't want that, you have to make that decision and stick with it and be happy and comfortable within that as well.
Then question. So would you go on it then, or just purely because you think it's something you wouldn't?
It's just not for me. Yeah, no, it's just not for me.
Do you think a lot of artists are pushed into it from sort of like a desperation standpoint, where they're just
I do, and I think if I did it, I would do it for the wrong reasons. And like I said, I've been doing this for so long that there's only one way I can see it blowing, and one way in one direction I can see it going in, and I just want to follow that path. I've just got a gut feeling, and I just have to stick with it. And if it takes time, it takes time.
Do you know that kind of reminds me of? Do you know? I'm sure you do. Omar. That reminds me of him. To me, that guy for British music is top notch, but he's consistently been Omar. Right, and what you're kind of saying now is like you're going to consistently be Effie, and now that might not necessarily be obviously chart topper and this, that, the other. Hopefully it is, but it's refreshing to hear that, like, you want to stick to your own integrity, and this is my music, and this is what I do. This is my craft. I appreciate what I do.
Yeah,
and it's refreshing to hear that, because again, you got too many. As I said, respect to Osh. I mean, he just come on and he sang my yeah is different to your yeah, and he got bucks off of it. Good for him. But there's too many of that.
I don't disrespect people that
there's
do
too many
that.
of that.
I just know that's just not the path for me.
But what was that?
If you got to like a, sorry, do you think if you got to like a stage, like a certain stage, and let's say you got
big up Georgia,
you know, you grew it into this massive thing where you're not just like a national thing, you're like a global artist. Do you think you will fall into some traps where you have to sort of put out like a certain type of music to maybe start reaching to a different audience, or would you just stay with your core audience?
I think anything is possible, because as much as I have integrity, I don't know what is going to happen in my life. I don't know who I'm going to meet. I don't know what dreams I'm going to be sold. You never know. I'd like to think that I would stay integral to me throughout, no matter what I do. And yeah, I say that really honestly. I think that I would stay true to what I want to do and how I want to do it. Does that mean bending it slightly, like bending the rules slightly? Yeah, cool. Would I completely ever like sell out or do something gimmicky or do something just to cross over to another fan base? No, I don't think I would ever do that.
It's refreshing all of this to hear, because boy, I'm sure somebody says we'll give you a mail to sing I'm a Barbie girl, people would drop and do it and flipping do whatever it takes.
No, because people
no, you know what? I'll go away and I'll write you a new Barbie girl.
There you go. Why not?
People are looking more for the fame rather than they're in it for the fame. They're not in it.
If anything, that's what terrifies me. I want people to hear my music because I want people to connect with me how I've connected with other integral and amazing artists that have helped me essentially live and shape who I am. And I want to be able to do the same for people. It's not about having the most followers on Instagram. And yeah, there is a certain part of that always is going to come into your mind because of where we're living at the moment and the time and space. But I think for me, it's just about connecting with an audience and having longevity as an artist and being integral and being real and singing about things that are real and that people are going to relate to. And just that, to me, that is timeless. You can't really put a trend on that.
No, you can't. You can't at all. But then, what is then your opinion on the current state of, let's say, radio? Because radio dictates popular music. What's your opinion on current radio? And don't be biased, because you know some people who are within the charts doing very well right now. Don't be biased.
Yeah. I mean, do you know what's really, really interesting? What's really fun for me as well? Like over the last couple of years, especially, there is not a week I don't turn on the radio where I don't know at least 3 or 4 of the people that are in the top 10 every week. Whether it's a producer, a writer, or the artist themselves. There is not someone that I'm not either friends with or they're in my circle. And that's been a really beautiful thing in the way of seeing my peers and seeing my people do well. And I'll never knock that. Like that just gives me hope and joy. And I'm so happy for people. I think radio is it's a tricky place because yes, you have the mainstream shows that are in the day, but then you have all the specialist tastemakers. I mean, Annie Mac's always been a really great champion of
always big
new music of all areas. Obviously she comes from a dance background, which we love her for, but she also has always, for me, flown the flag for people from all backgrounds, all genres.
She has.
I think Hugh Stevens is another good one. I think Hugh Stevens is really great. Obviously I'm only talking about the BBC because that's all I really listen to. One Extra as well, of course. I think I love Dev. I love listening to Dev.
There's one who comes and does future beats. What's her name?
Jam Supernova.
That's it.
Jam Supernova, yeah. Jam Supernova.
I think we need to wrap up all of those DJs and put them on a separate station.
On a bill. Put them on a bill. Oh,
we need to
Lord.
put them all on a separate station. Collect all of these DJs that are more interested in just real artists putting out
Imagine.
real. I mean, it would be great if all of those guys that could really push the artists would be on one station that had the same reach as, say, the BBC.
Totally. I mean, again, like I'm very, very blessed. Like one of my best friends, her name's Rio Frederica. She is on
She's presenting now.
She's on Capital, and she's just been given the Capital breakfast show. On
Big up.
So for the
I
first time, she's
play it, I'm
going to
clapping
be
now.
able to be really instrumental and be really creative with what she does. And she hopefully is going to be like the start of a new wave of people that try and, you know, push things through and be supportive on mainstream radio as well. So that's really exciting.
That's wicked. That's
Yeah.
wicked, because I mean, I hope we're coming to the end of the days where you know you're gonna hear the same song at least twice or three times an hour,
Mm-hmm.
and we start hearing literally, if you hear your favorite song twice in a day, you'll be lucky.
Right.
Because honestly, that's what I miss. And to me, I'm like, that's what will get me on radio, being like, hey, I beg you play this tune, blah 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 blah. Because
Yeah.
long gone are those days where you crave, because you know you're gonna be hearing so much newness,
Mm-hmm.
and being fed so much great information
Mm-hmm.
that then, well, I don't care for repeats really. If I hear it
Yeah.
again, great. If I don't hear it again, I've been so distracted by the dopeness that it's cool. And that's
Mhm.
personally, that's why I asked you the question about the state of radio, because I really miss that. I
Mhm.
really miss that. I never forget, I went to America in 2004. I'll tell you right now, the 5 tunes I want to repeat. The tune Sunshine. Sunshine, I could be you, my baby boy. Do you remember that song? I forgot her
Yeah.
name, whatever her name was. Excuse my singing. Where I Wanna Be, Nate Dogg and whatever the guy's face
Wow.
was. What's it called? Juvenile.
Back that ass up.
It was that, and then you had another one, Slow Motion.
Mhm.
And then what was the fifth one? It was Beyonce Summertime with
Okay.
Ghostface Killer. 5 tunes on repeat. That's it for the whole hour.
Mhm.
And a bit of talking in between. And that was 2004.
Yeah.
16 years later, it's just gone worse.
Mhm.
That's why I was asking. That's generally why I was asking. But
And I think that's why they've lost an audience, because a lot of people have just gone, oh, this is just some nonsense. If you get in your car in the morning and you hear the song, you jump back in your car at 5 p.m. You hear the same song.
Yeah.
But that's why I think it's important to support pirate radio, I guess, in a way, or like the smaller radio stations.
All levels.
And
Yeah.
also yeah. And also I think curating playlists. Like I have a playlist that I've curated. Oh my god, get that plug in. Get that plug in. I've curated a playlist. Cam has a playlist. Many of my friends do, and we
Please
just
send them
put all our favorite music on our playlist, make them public on Spotify, and then just feed people the new music. Questlove has a really good one.
Yes,
Questlove
of
is really
course.
good. I always get tunes, old and new, that I don't know from listening to his stuff, and that's how I find my new music. I do it myself. I do my own research, and like I said, there are a few tastemakers and a few specialist radio DJs that I do love to listen to. So
Yeah, no, absolutely wicked. I know you're cut for time. One question:
yeah.
racism in the world. Go.
Oh my god.
You have to say fine. 5 words.
No.
Impossible.
I'll give you a paragraph. Okay, so I feel like we are on the brink of something very, very positive, actually, for all the shit that we as Black people and brown people have gone through this year in particular. And the reason why I say this year in particular is just because of how highlighted it's been because of social media, because of Instagram and all these things. I think we're coming to a point now where voices are starting to be listened to, and we have the platform and we have the ability to be able to speak up, whether it may be petitioning, just awareness, raising awareness. The amount of conversations I've had this year with friends and family, just to raise awareness. People don't know stuff, and to try and educate people is so important. To not ever lose your cool if you're trying to get your point across, because there's been so many times this year I've struggled to get out of bed. I've been so heartbroken and found it really tough, as I'm sure you guys have as well. And it hurts your soul and your spirit on a day-to-day basis. And so I think we're, despite all of the negativity, we are now living in a space where we're at the beginning of the positive change. It's going to take a long time from here. I think
in our lifetime.
I hope so, because I don't want my children to go through what I've had to see and witness and experience. So yeah, I hope so. But for the first time ever, I feel more listened to, and I've had more positive conversations. It also highlighted more than ever the problems that we do have and some of the ideologies that some people live with within this country and within America and all across the world. But it's so complex. I could talk on it all day. You'll have to get me back on and we'll talk specifically about this for like an hour, because I could really go in on stuff.
I think we went in last this week.
I mean, so remember I wanted to get you quickly on Thursday if possible with the Ivy Park thing. But again, racism for us is always a topic, and you being a black woman in the music industry, I mean, that's again another conversation. Again, I time.
Also it's funny because not funny, but it's interesting for me because I am also very aware that I'm very light skinned, and so there are privileges that come with that, and I'm very aware of that, and that's also something that I have to deal with. You know, I have to come to terms with and be okay with. But again, like I said, I could go on.
What is your heritage actually? Sorry.
So my mum, she is African American and English, but we also have in our family on my mother's side, my great grandmother, she was a Native American. She's a Blackfoot tribe Native American.
Right. So steeped in history. Yeah. Man.
So we on, like I say, on my mum's side, we're black and we're Native American on that side, as well as white. And then on my dad's side, he's white and he's from England. So yeah.
Oh wow, that's wicked though.
Yeah.
That is wicked. Christopher Columbus. Yay or nay?
No, very nay.
Well done.
Very nay.
I kid you not. I'm just waiting for the day my stepdaughter comes home and said, "Oh, we learned about Christopher Columbus today." Listen, I'll be like, "Hold up for 5 minutes. I'm gonna boil this kettle and tell me what you've learned." I can't wait for the conversation. Anyways,
listen, I'm surprised that they're still trying to push that nonsense, man, in schools.
They will.
I'm surprised they're trying to push a lot of the nonsense.
I'm surprised they're not really.
Theorem,
yeah, they're not telling the truth. I'm just like, bro, this guy was ruthless. You know, this guy tried to get himself a deal. The deal that he tried to strike was that his family would have basically been the richest family in history. That's the deal he tried to eat. They paint him in this ridiculous light, like he's this awesome person. Yeah, and I'm like, nah.
But honestly, you're probably one of the best people to ask that question just because of that reaction. Just because of that reaction, you're probably the best person. Like I said,
please get me back on and we'll go more into this. 100%. Because honestly, I could really talk on this stuff for a long time.
Do you know what we'll do? We'll expand the panel as well. We'll include, I have a good friend of mine who's Chinese. No, Chinese. No, she's Chinese.
Yeah.
Yan, forgive me. You are Chinese. Well, you are now. I'm gonna get an Asian friend of mine and a white friend of mine. Will diversify the panel.
Amazing.
And I think we can all go at it that way because
that would be great.
And everybody speaks with chest, and we'll go from it that way and see what goes on.
Amazing. Love it.
Anyways, we know you need to go. Thank you for spending
so much
time with us. Last time before you go, latest single is My Room, correct? Out.
Correct.
Now everywhere. Visuals out on Monday.
Yep.
Hopefully we have a treat in store for our people after Sunday.
Yep.
After Sunday.
Fingers crossed.
Listen, I need to send you a message. We're fully green light for that anyway, so it's all good. Fully green light for that. But hopefully I want to try and get out by the new year. I didn't tell you. I'm only telling you this now. I want to try to get out by the new year, but we'll see.
Let's do that.
But yeah. Anyway, you have a lovely evening. And thank you so much. It's been great.
Amazing.
And obviously, when next single's coming out or the EP's coming out, you know where we're at.
Thank you so much. Thank you for all of your love and support as well. It means a lot, man.
Always, cool. As I said from last year, always. Anyways, people are at just on the bottom left of the screen. At Effie.official, add her up on the Instagram, follow her on. What are you, just Effie Music or just Effie on?
It's Effie.official and it's just Effie on Spotify. Yeah.
Fine. There you go, guys. Yeah. Stream it up. Holler at your girl. Let's get her rich and popping. Because I want that 1% of that.
Yeah.
I'm playing. Take it easy, Ev. Have a lovely evening.
Thanks so much. Peace.
Take care, man. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Oh, wonderful to have Effie on. Real wonderful to have Effie on. She's one of our bright sparks, in all honesty.
Yeah. To be fair, I'll tell you what, like that whole, you know, the last event that we had it was just stacked full of talent, man. It was crazy.
It was
and obviously
stacked full of
she,
talent.
even with it being, and that's not me trying to shout out to everybody else that was there. And everybody had a different sound, but she kind of just stood out a little bit. And obviously now we know why.
Yeah.
So
it makes so much sense. It makes so much sense. And again, please, if any of the other artists watch this back or are watching now, there's no disrespect meant, but that's the whole point. First of all, why this is all called levels. And secondly, it shows like kind of some of the work that you continuously need to do to try and push yourself to reach certain esteems. And again, like just listening to it, because that I call it the DJ ear, you hear stuff that sometimes people just don't hear. When she started singing, she knew exactly, she set the reverb to a certain thing, to a certain limit, which she said to the sound engineer, I want that level of reverb, for example. Whereas the other artists, because you're all new to this, which is all good, you're not that accustomed to it, all of that stuff. And it was just great. It was wicked. It was really wicked. And I can't wait to start live shows. Oh, it's a shame we couldn't ask her about when she thought like live shows and stuff like that would be coming back.
Yeah, sick.
But yeah, man.
I think obviously like this is what the whole
Big up
Levels
Jack and
thing is
Steven.
about. That's my boy Steve. What up, Steve? My homie from it's like my bro. It's like a little brother to me.
Big ups.
Actually, he's kind of my age, so it's not just because I'm a little bit older. He's pretty much my age.
Aging yourself.
But yeah, he's a homie from way back, man. He's a really good friend. I think that's obviously what we're trying to get across with the Levels Lounge is create a sort of like a platform where everybody can get hints, tips, support. It's not sort of like a place where we're going to bash other artists or anything like that.
No, it's not at all.
Generally like a community where we support each other through some, all the crazy that comes with yeah, I'm a little bit taller, Steve. With everything that they're going through in terms of the music industry and being creative and just living your truth, I guess.
100 Fishmongery Direct. What's going on, Chang? This guy's an idiot. Fishmongery Direct. No, it's 100% facts. 100% facts. And not to big up this platform, but I think that's why there's a need for what we do. Like, like people might be saying, "Oh, why are you telling everybody what you're doing?" But I don't care. At the end of the day, if somebody really today comes and takes what we're doing now
and pushes it forward, that's great.
Trying to exploit exactly what I'm trying to. If I don't do it, somebody else will do it. That's great. Yeah. I don't mind. So that's
someone
the whole.
Has to do it. Like people need that voice.
You just need that little what's snowflakes that can roll and turn into a big flipping snowball and that avalanche. Or is that what I think?
A lot of talented people, like I said, a lot of talented people get lost either through people not really supporting them or society not giving them the respect that they deserve. And
100%.
We got to get back to supporting creative people. Like
100%.
Why are we stifling creativity? It's mad.
Well, the country that we're in, look at football, for example. Yeah. Look at football, for example. You've got dinosaur managers like flipping Jose Mourinho, yeah?
No, who don't
like these saucy players. He don't like sauce.
No, he's not about that.
Or if he does like sauce, he's only gonna ever allow one player to ever be saucy in his team, ever. You can't have multiple. Only gonna flipping don't even gonna start with him, yeah?
He's your boy,
He's
man.
got bare saucy players on his team.
He's at the wheel, man.
You don't have to shut up. Listen, you're fighting relegation, so boy, if you want to go there, we can. Bro, we're 15th, yeah? You're 15th. Right. You just lost to Burnley. Brighton.
Shout out to all my gooners out there. There's still hope, yeah? Come on.
Listen, you know what? Let's do a bet live on here. It's not going to be a big bet. £10, Arsenal finished 16th.
Nah, bro. No way. But I'm on that bet. I'm on that bet.
Where do you think you'll finish?
I'm gonna take my tenner. I'll buy you a drink with it as well. but we're
Very
not
kind.
finishing 16th. We're definitely not finishing 16th.
Bruv, if you keep
Um,
Arteta, you're finishing there.
Nah, if we keep the dead wood that we've got in the squad, we're finishing.
Bruv, you've only got
like
one
20th.
window to rid how many?
This is the problem, and this is why it kind of obviously this isn't a football show, so I'm not going to go into football too much. But to sum it up, Arsenal Football Club is run poorly.
So is Man United.
Poorly. It's poor. I mean, and we got anyway. Let's move on because it's getting stressful. Let's move on. Back to the music. Let's
Steven
go.
says, "Don't do it, mate," because he knows you guys will finish 16th. He knows you're sitting duck for me right now. Sitting duck.
We're good. Like honestly, I believe in what Arteta is trying to push, and I think we just got a bag of dead players.
Bruv, how many people? Listen, you guys did you watch yesterday's game? You should have been down to 9 men. I have no idea how El Neni stays on after man saw the VAR.
Bruv, we got lucky. I'm not gonna lie.
The guy felt sorry for you because he knew you were.
When I saw the referee go to the screen, I thought, oh shit. And then he came back and gave him the yellow. I was like, oh, that is such a touch.
Yeah, look, you got life. There you got life. Because, boy, imagine if you got pumped by Burnley.
Because
you would have got pumped by them.
Like, listen, I got over my weekend. Yeah, I've been having a productive day. Let's move on.
All right, fine.
Please.
Let's move on. Back to the actual topic.
I'm trying to give me anxiety, depression, all. Bro, leave it, man.
I support Man United. Don't worry, we're not too far from you, man.
It's
anyway,
alright.
so
You say that's you're at a different end of the table. Don't
forget.
We're
nowhere near where we should be. But anyways, you're right. It ain't a football show, though. I think we should do a sports show.
Like a little 5-minute wrap up.
A little 5-minute thing,
we'll put that in there.
Golden State gonna be the champs this year.
I'm not getting into that. I'm not getting into that.
No, we're not starting.
I hate them bastards. I'm not getting into that.
Why?
Hate them. No, it's just I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of it.
I love it. The thing is, because I was a shooter, innit? Because I was a shooter, boy. That's why I love watching Golden State.
Like, man's just making shots from like the other free throw. Oh,
listen,
it's boring now. Like, leave it.
Don't hate because you won a 3-point shoot.
It's like when you play like a game and you got that one player that is just back in the day. You know them players that were just too much.
His name is Chase McGrady.
It's just like no, he's like a cheat code, man. It's like fuck that. Leave it. Let's
100%. Listen, I'll just players
elevate to that step level or something. I don't know.
Yeah. But anyway, back to what we were talking about in the music industry and creating a platform for the creatives. And
bro, this is why I said to you, the radio situation. That's one of the reasons why I hit you up the other day. Obviously, that was a private conversation, but we're throwing it out there anyway. And that I feel that avenue for the artists, because they need a voice. People need a voice. Like these artists they're very good artists. There's a lot of good talent out there in the UK, but I just feel like they're getting stifled by some of these people that have got a lot more money than them, and a lot more clout on Instagram and whatever. So it'd be nice if someone says, you know what, let's help these people that are very talented down there. Just give them something, give them some airtime, because they're getting overrun by the nonsense. So
fine then. There's a few of you watching. If anybody cares to reply, I mean, first of all, how do you listen to music? Apple Music, Spotify, and this, that, the other. And does it help you discover music, or do you not care to discover music? Because sometimes that's what I think it is. People will know who they like and don't really step out that remit. So it's like, I mean, I think for us to sit here and be like, oh no, push new music. We're DJs. That's what we crave. We crave to be ahead of the curve, and we crave to deliver new music or fresh music. And it's not to dismiss the old music and just say, oh, we got so much music coming out. Dismiss what you just heard 5 years ago. Listen, I'm more than happy. Listen, I still listen to Chris Brown's Loyal to this day.
Straight
yeah.
up.
That tune, are those 5 years old now?
Who I listened to the other day?
Fire.
Carl Thomas.
Which one? So Emotional.
Yeah, bro.
It's a big track.
I've got to sit down when that track comes on and just like I'm in the zone.
Yeah,
I get in the zone with it.
You just don't know. But and that's why, again, I asked Effie about the state of radio, because you can't. I can't just sit and zone out to music like that. You don't have timeless music. Although people don't care for timeless music, because like she said, we're built. Well, we're getting tuned to just consume, and not retain anything.
Mm.
And for me, it's sad. It's like I see what's it called? These clips of old people with dementia. Let's say one of the most recent ones I saw was this guy who used to be in a jazz band, and his two of his old pals were playing like a trumpet or something like that, and it was a riff to a certain part where he had a piano solo. This guy has dementia, right? And you see the guy just start hitting the keys and hitting the notes, kind of reminiscent. And then when he stopped, he was just like the euphoria and the relief that's coming out. And then when you hear the government say, "Oh, go and retrain," you can't just retrain these things. This is your life. This is your passion. This is what's inside you. So it's sad that they just throw it away so flippantly like that.
Oh, it's hard. Like a lot of us have had to just face it. Like the thing is, like I said last week, I heard it was sad because I heard that DJ saying, "I'm packing it in. I'm not doing it."
Pack it in. I'm joking.
No, the problem we've got is, as well as some artists just not being, they're just loud and overcried and stuff. We've got a lot of DJs like that as well. So it's sad when you see good DJs saying that, "Look, I've had enough. I'm not doing it no more." And getting to that point, because it's just like, no, we need good DJs. We need people that with good music. We need all of these people. We need you. You've got to stay. You should stay. And hopefully Levels can just build people up to that, you know, and help or support, you know, on that journey.
I mean, it just starts with everybody who's locked in tonight, just liking, sharing, and subscribing. And I know it gets annoying. And do you know what? I used to watch a lot of YouTube. Well, I still do watch a lot of YouTube. And you see all these people say like, share, subscribe, and blah, 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 blah. But I get it. I get it now. Obviously, you get it when you're part of it. But we're just really trying to do what we feel is good anyway. And try and push more stuff out to you guys, but in a really controlled and quality controlled as manner, as to say. Like the quality will just shine through again. Hopefully we do a Levels Lounge soon, and we can stream it on YouTube, and you can see the artists that come through for yourself and see the talent that is not heard by you guys because of how mainstream radio wants to play things. So yeah, man. I mean, it's a lot of work to do, but we got this, bro. We got this.
Yeah, man, we'll rise. We will rise. I did a bloody Afro beatsy type of mix today.
I was thinking about that. I need to get back on decks. I haven't touched decks since I don't even know how long.
You know what? I'm looking for a studio and something that I'm
Pirate Studios. Let's go back to back in the Pirate Studio.
Oh yeah, we should definitely film one of those for Levels. But I'm talking about somewhere that I can go that's just soundproof. I can use my own equipment. No disrespect to Pirate Studios, but it's got all of that equipment that everybody else uses. And I'm in love with my DJI MS9. Before they made the S11, it was the best mixer for me on the planet that I've ever used. It's very pricey, and that's why I paid the money for it, because it's a sick ass mixer. And I'm not saying I can't DJ on other equipment, because I can every time. I mean, I DJ on an S9 at home. When I go to the clubs, I don't even have crossfaders sometimes. Sometimes I go to there, there's just no crossfader. Like some rabid Wolverines. Or like, listen, I've seen mixes where the crossfader's gone, line 1's gone, line 4's gone. I'm left with line 2 and 3. And there's no knobs on them.
Nothing. It's just the metal flingy bit, which when you slap up the fader hard, you're gonna damage your finger or something. You know what?
That just kind of puts you. That's the state of DJs in the UK. That's how much they respect DJs in the UK.
But then it's like, I don't know. I was gonna say something crazy. But dude, yes, we do deserve respect, but it's at the same time the bars. That's the least of the bar's worries, because I told you about the time when I was DJing at this swanky bar in Canary Wharf, and the manager came up to me and said, could I not play the music which makes people dance so much? I went to him, fam, what do you think I'm here to do? Play doo-doo music so people just stand around? That's not what I do. And I said, bruv, don't ever book me again, because that's not what I do. I don't care you're paying me nice. I don't
But
care. Like,
that's another
it's not
thing
what I
that
do.
we've got. Like, if we're gonna move like that, it needs to be a one movement. Everybody needs to be on board. It's like, this is what
But I
we
won't.
want. We want
But I
the
won't now.
real. We want to be able to express ourselves. Whether you're a singer,
Mhm.
you know, you're in a band, you just sit back, enjoy the show.
Yeah.
What we're getting nowadays is there's too much of this. I've paid X amount of money, so I can do what I want. And for me, I don't think that culture should be in clubs. If you want to do that kind of stuff, if it's your birthday, you want to while out with your brethrens, the man them, pop bottles, or you know, sip champagne with your girls in VIP, book the whole club for you and your people.
Mm-hmm.
Don't come in on like a regular night and try and demand your own, you know, your own moment in time. No, spend the extra money, book a DJ that you can give a playlist to if that's your thing, or if that's his thing, or whatever, and just go about it. There's nothing wrong with that. You have paid for the whole night. You deserve to get what you've paid for. Don't come into a club just because you're a certain type of person. You might have had some elevation in society, or you've got some kind of status, and just demand that things are the. We have to say no to that culture, man. Like, we've got to say no to that culture, but that's what the culture is. It's like everybody wants to be, because it makes you feel a certain type of way when you're in a club. You're somehow higher, if you want to call it that, than everyone else.
It's what it is. Buy pop bottles. I got 30k, but that's the fault of the super clubs in central London, though. And then everybody sees, obviously, because they got money just to pump into a bit of PR and social media marketing, and everybody sees that. Then everybody thinks they can do that. Whatever. But again, I mean, we can sit here all day and sound like the bitter old men, because at the end of the day, that's what it is. We can only try and we want to manufacture a lane. Cool, let's manufacture that lane then, innit? And if people enjoy and want to bounce, let's go. We can do this.
This
if
is
not,
it. Like, so I mean, like,
there's other options.
We got to get to a stage where, and this is one of the problems I feel like we've got with artists and with just everybody in general. Not everybody's gonna like you.
Of course.
You know what I'm trying to say? So people might not like me. People might not like you for whatever reasons they've got personally that they don't like you. It could be your appearance. It could be whatever. Yeah. You cannot allow that to stop you from still being you. So what we've got is everybody, they're trying to basically please everyone. Yo, do you know how many people there are in this world? You cannot and will never please everyone. You just need to be you and allow people to gravitate towards you.
Do you know, you just said something. It just threw me a little bit off. Not threw me off in a bad sense. You said how many people are there in this world? There's 7 billion approximately in this world. Yeah. Jeff Bezos is worth 164 billion. Man can give away $1 billion to
everyone.
Everybody in this world.
I mean,
nice.
In technical terms, I don't think it's like that. I think he's got like how many billions in assets, but
no, 100%. Obviously, it
but
doesn't.
I mean,
work like
yeah, I mean, he's a very, very wealthy man, and
come on, that's eye-watering. That's incredible. But it also shows the level of greed in the world. Like,
I don't think it's greed. See, I disagree. I don't think it's greed.
No, fine. If he had that much money, I have no idea what I'm doing with that much money.
Yeah, but mentally,
I would definitely be trying to give or support something.
I think he must do somewhere. Like, I'm not sure. Obviously, I don't follow him.
He ain't doing enough. 164 bill. He ain't doing enough.
You know, but I think if you've got, I don't think to be those kind of people, you need a different level of dedication, hunger to your craft, like a different level.
Oh, nobody's knocking that.
Right. And I think when they make that kind of money and they then keep going to stay on top, there's no other option. They can't level out and just be like, all right, cool, I'm good now.
But don't you think it should be?
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's why we're here. Because once I feel like we achieve what we've achieved, what do you do then? It's just, I would be the sort of person that
pass the torch.
Back. Yeah, pass the torch. I'll try to maintain it. I have no interest in earning 50 billion or whatever the hell he's got. Like, I have no interest in it.
But I guess
There's
then
consent.
people probably sit here and think, well, that shows our ambition. It probably does. Like our ambition
No,
is
look,
probably different, but
no,
at the
my
same
ambition
time,
is
there's
to
bigger
is to
problems in the world.
yeah, of course. My ambition is to make sure my family, my friends are blessed.
Oh, cool. Exactly.
Help everybody that I can help under my umbrella.
Exactly.
That's all I can do personally.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do anything. You know what I mean? That for me as a human being, I think that'll probably be a little bit more fulfilling. But there's no, you're right. For him having all that money, he obviously has different motives, and that's why maybe he has that kind of money, because his motive is just maybe for the money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whereas we're trying to help people. So
Everybody's got different motives. Everybody has their different motives.
when you're trying to help, clearly you're not going to get that. You know, it's not
164 billion.
you're
Blood.
not getting that kind of money through just trying to be a good person and help other people. Unfortunately, the world's just not set like that, bro.
No, not in the slightest. But hey, it is what it is, man.
It is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, man. I mean, I'm bloody exhausted today, man. It's a long ass day, and
for real, me too.
it's a long day. I feel like that was a good chat though, like, because I've been waiting for that chat with Effie for some time. It's quite interesting what all of the things that she said, and now we have like a clearer. Me personally, I think I've got a clearer sort of like outlook on where she's come from, and I hope everybody that was paying, you know, that locked in was listening and understood. You know what I mean? Like the levels.
Yeah,
no
literally. Yeah, no pun intended. No. But it's true, and I mean, I hope we can get Cam on as well. Actually,
yeah, he's a talented guy.
because he's again a very talented guy, but he's also got a wealth of experience. Because recently, I don't know if it was BBC One Extra Lounge or something. He did with Wes Nelson. He was on the keys for Wes, and it's just like, I see this fella everywhere. This guy did a bit with Gets a few years back. So he's got again a wealth of experience, and he's multi-talented. You remember Ryan Leslie? He could play nearly every instrument in that room. Drums, good. Guitar, good. Bass, good. Piano, good. And Cam's a bit like that. He plays multiple instruments well, and then
Leslie
sings while he's playing them.
He's another one that he owned a lot of his own stuff, man. He made his own name.
I mean, Chris Brown as well. I think, to be honest, looking back on it, when she was talking about owning your own masters, probably that's why they tried to do Chris Brown dirty, because he's one of the few very mainstream artists who owned every single one of his masters.
They tried to do him dirty. Chris Brown, listen, they tried cancelling you.
Listen, he was like, not today.
They tried to cancel him. I tell you what, I was watching, and this kind of brings me on to like something that I saw the other day. And I'm sitting there, and Mrs. is watching something, and this girl goes off at this guy and throws a whole drink in his face, right? And he literally flips and he calls her. I think he calls her like some name or something. But then everybody got onto him for calling her a name. In my head, I'm like, okay, we need to draw a line here. Like, we need to understand that physicality on both sides is just, it shouldn't happen. It's not a thing. I think women sometimes get a bly with the physicality. So a woman technically can slap a man in the face, and he should be this gentleman where he just doesn't react. Because that's the sort of thing I'm going to teach to my son. It's like, if a woman gets physical, she flims you in the face, pow. You just got to be man enough to say, okay, I'm gonna turn around, I'm gonna get the hell out of here. Or I'm just not going to get involved in this. Do not be that guy that goes in. You understand what I'm saying? But not many people, not many people could hold that slap in the face or hold that punch in the face
and not react,
and be like, and not react. So I think on both sides there needs to be, as well as men refraining from that retaliation, I think women need to refrain from the physical side of it as well.
Okay, I'm gonna say something that's crazy. A lot of women though deliberately know that if a man hits her, it's a wrap for them. So there's some women out there who will go at you just to get that reaction from you, and then boom, you're going away. There's some women out there, but
The minute you
I'm not
sense
going to
that,
go into this because this convo
it's
is
another one.
a mad one.
It's another one.
It
We're gonna-
is a mad one.
it's another conversation because a lot of people I think will disagree. A lot of people still feel like maybe women have that, you know, that right to fling, to put arms.
No,
put hands.
nobody should raise anybody's arms to anybody's face. Nobody, man to man to woman, like just don't do it. Because and I say this to my stepdaughter because sometimes when she plays, like she won't fling her arms up at me, but she'll put her foot like just in my vicinity. And I'm like, listen, you can do that to me, do that to somebody else. They might chop off your foot, they might break your toe, they might do something.
Yeah.
Everybody reacts differently, and unfortunately, most people have an adverse reaction to these things. Anyways, bro, this is a mad. It's gonna be long. If we start this now, we're gonna be here for another hour.
One. It's a big conversation.
Mad. But I definitely need to round up that panel. Get us, Effie on, my pal Yen on. I told her I was gonna get her on anyway. I have to get an Asian pal on as well, like Indian Asian.
Okay.
And then we have this. Then we have an interesting racism talk.
And you know,
we get from all angles. That's what
it is. I want to hear it from other angles. I'm quite open-minded when it comes to this because sometimes you can be quite biased to your own cause. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So you can't just sit there and just be like,
well, this. Okay, cool. How's it for that person?
Yeah, you got to listen to everybody and understand where this stuff's coming. The problem we've got is that there's no conversation. People make these prejudgments and then they run with it. That's the problem we've got. So a conversation needs to be had, even though it's uncomfortable. We're going to need to have a level of emotional intelligence to just not react.
Exactly.
And just talk the things. You know what I mean? Like you got to talk the things, man.
Exactly. Say it with chest. Listen, it's a platform just to say with honesty and do what you want to do, innit?
Right.
Anyway, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you as always. It's been wonderful.
It's been an hour.
I'll let you know in the week who we have on next week. It's gonna be another nice one. Just waiting for them to confirm, but should be another nice one. If not, there's other people that we can holler at. No problem. So, go on. What was you gonna say?
I've got a couple of spin-off little ideas. Now my head's working. This meditation's working, I guess.
Meditating is the one, guys.
This meditation's working, I guess. So like the ideas are coming to mind, and I'm learning to just write them down. When they come, apparently that's your guardians trying to give you the ideas to go with the path. So you say you should write it down. Yeah, bro. So I'm gonna write some things down. I'm gonna get at you.
Please do. Anyway, guys, thank you for locking in today. Once again, thank you, Effie, for being so wonderful and coming on, and just giving us a little bit of insight as to a bit of what it takes to even get to a level like hers, where it all starts and stuff like that. Perfect timing. My camera goes.
Yeah, it's perfect timing. It's saying good night. I'm not gonna lie. I'm on a Harry Potter thing, so I'm about to go and watch Harry Potter.
Don't do that.
Yo,
don't do that, bro. Anyways, we'll hit you up. I don't know. We might do another impromptu one in the week, or we might just wait till next week.
If a topic comes up and we need to talk, we talk.
Exactly. Anyways, peace and love, everybody.
Thanks everybody that locked in, man. Appreciate the love.
Indeed, as always. Each and every time, stay levels. Peace.
Learn life. There's levels to the shit.